Wow, guys, what the heck just happened? I'm still just kind of in disbelief, and I really shouldn't be talking about it right now. I know it's a work, I shouldn't be this emotionally invested in something, but I will say this, that as a grown man, I haven't had a wrestling match get this exact same feeling. I haven't felt this way about a wrestling match since I watched Hogan lose to the Ultimate Warrior when I was about 8 years old. So, with that said, I mean, maybe that means they've done something right to get a grown man to feel that way, that emotionally invested. With that said, the only thing, I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't, and I'm sure that I shouldn't be talking about this because in a year I'm going to say, that's a stupid way to look, But my raw emotions right now are, it got a reaction out of me, so in one sense, that's kind of means something. In another sense, why not somebody that loved wrestling? Why not, there's so many guys on that 21, not 21 guys because there's a lot of doubles, but there's 21 matches filled with guys, for the most part, that loved wrestling. Ric Flair's on that list, Shawn Michaels, Triple H. I mean, I know the internet would hate it if it would have happened, but Triple H is a guy that loves wrestling, and he ain't going anywhere, even if he's got to come out of the office every so often. He's still a guy that can. And Randy Orton would have been, a lot of people I know were convinced he was gonna win it, and even John Cena, I know he's not on the list, but he never even had a streak match. That blows my mind. But with that said, I mean, another thing that I really think is smart of the Undertaker is that he's willing to do anything to reinvent himself, because the streak has defined him, and I don't want to say that the streak has gone stale, but it has gotten to the point where we all tune in, and once that bell hits, we know it's only a matter of time before it's Tombstone or Last Ride and this match is over. We all know how it's going. Even last year, CM Punk, who, he would have been a great choice, but then again, you see what happened this year, and maybe he wouldn't have. But even last year, CM Punk, the guy that would have been a great choice, we all kind of knew that Undertaker was walking out, and I think that, I mean, there's a good chance that this is his last match, but if it isn't, props to Undertaker for being smart enough to recognize that, it's gotten to the point where we all expect it. And we wouldn't have had this reaction if we weren't 100% sure Undertaker was winning every year. And when he lost, it kind of broke a lot of people's hearts. I feel like the child in me has died. And all those pictures of the internet, all those pictures and the video from the actual live feed of Wrestlemania reaction, that was 70,000 adults with their child inside breaking. So I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing, and it obviously was the Undertaker's choice. I can see why he would pick Brock Lesnar. He's done more to legitimize this industry than anyone in history, because I mean, yeah, there were shooters in the past, but this guy took wrestling at a point where nobody believed in it, and Brock Lesnar conquered the world. He was the fucking toughest guy on the planet. He was the UFC undisputed champion, and Undertaker's obviously got a lot of respect for the MMA world. I can see why he picked Brock. At the same time, as a guy that doesn't know Brock and isn't the Undertaker, after I reevaluate all my emotions, and I'm not sure how much of them are valid or whatever, but the only thing I'm left with is, why not a guy that loved wrestling? Because, Brock has never really loved wrestling. I mean, I give him props. Even when he was in the UFC, there was a lot of guys that did try to get him to bash wrestling, and he was a man, and he would always, I mean, everything I've seen, he never said anything bad about wrestling. There were guys that would say, that ring's all springed, and he'd say, no, it's a physical, hard ring. I remember him saying that. Props to that. Maybe he loves it more than I realize, but he doesn't seem like a guy that loved it. And to me, there's a million guys that are dying for that spot. That would have been prime for that guy to be made by the Streak. And all I gotta say is, why not a guy that loved the industry? Why not a guy that loved wrestling? But I don't know. That's all I have to say about it today. Maybe I'll revisit this when I can kind of clear my head a little more. Thanks for watching, and have a good one, guys. Let me know what you think.